You don't need a perfect setup, a fancy camera, or a 10-step strategy. You just need to start. The reason for that is I can almost guarantee that your first video will, well, suck. If you've been telling yourself,
I'll start when I'm ready,
this is your sign that you are already ready. In this video, I'm going to share exactly how to go from 0 to uploading your first YouTube video within the next 7 days. I'll be breaking this into 5 simple steps so that you can take your channel from 0 to monetized right away. All right, so phase 1 and during days 1 and 2 of your 7-day sprint is going to be focusing on planning it. Great YouTubers actually do have a plan. They don't just create random videos. So within this phase, the first step is to pick your focus, or a lot of times people call it your niche. Try not to overthink it. You're not locking yourself in forever, just kind of picking a general direction that you want your channel to be in, the way that you kind of want to help other people. One tip I have for you here is to think about something that you could talk about on end for 10-15 minutes. If there's a topic that you're passionate about and can talk about for a while, then this is probably going to be a strong direction for your channel. Step 2 is to research it. Now, I really don't recommend just picking a random video that sounds like fun to make. That is not going to give you the growth potential, especially if you want to grow fast, that you might actually be needing. So what I recommend doing is a little bit of research into what is actually performing well already within your niche on YouTube. Find other YouTubers or other creators within your niche that have top performing videos. Then look at those videos, watch those videos, understand what exactly they're about, and then use those as your North Star, sort of your inspiration for how you should be talking about topics within your given niche. And I recommend just creating a list on Google Docs or Excel, whatever, of top performing videos within your niche, just so that you can kind of re-reference those again in the future. And then step 3 within this phase is to choose your first idea. So take a look at that list you just created of top performing videos. Then think of creating this video as a combination of what and how. For example, what will this video be about and how are you going to communicate it? Let me give you a few different examples within a few different niches. For the first example, we have lifestyle mom content. The what might be morning routine, meal prep, self-care. The how might be vlog, such as a day in the life. So the resulting idea could be a morning routine as a mom of 3. For a productivity niche, your what might be weekly planning and to-do lists. Your how might be tutorial or screen recording. So the resulting idea could be how I plan my week using Notion for beginners. For the personal finance niche, it could be budgeting, saving, and side hustles. For how, it could be talking head, sound like my videos. And the resulting idea could be how to budget when you live paycheck to paycheck. I'm gonna put a few other niches up here on the screen. You can screenshot this if you want some more inspiration for a variety of different niches, but I just wanted to include this to give you some inspiration. And if you're still feeling stuck, I have a free downloadable list of over 100 YouTube video ideas, and these are gonna be within a variety of niches. So if you're still feeling like you need a little bit of inspiration, make sure you check out my 100 YouTube video ideas list. I will have it linked down in my description box, as well as that top pinned comment. All right, now let's move on to phase 2. We had the research phase during days 1 and 2. Day 3, we are scripting. When it comes to your scripts, it really does not need to be word for word. I like to kind of put together more of an outline, talking points that I want to make sure that I hit within my videos. I have my script right here. I actually glance down at it in between takes. For me, having a script makes sure that I hit important points, but the bullet points make it a little bit more personalized and flowing, feeling like I'm having a conversation rather than just reading off of a piece of paper. I like to use the 3 P's framework. So the first P here is promise. What's in it for the viewer? For this video, it was to show you guys how to start and create and upload your very first YouTube video. Next is progress. That could be step-by-step guide or a story. So again, for this example within this video, I'm giving you guys like a step-by-step what to do each day over a week to get your first YouTube video live. And then the third P is payoff, which is what the viewer is gonna walk away with. So again, I told you at the beginning of this video that if you follow all of the steps within my video today, you'll have your first video ready and uploaded, and it's gonna be a really strong YouTube video. So you'll just wanna make sure that you include all of those within your script. A few other things I like to make sure I include is a hook, so something to captivate and capture the viewer's attention within the first few seconds. Again, kind of the meat, the main content, and making sure that that has really useful, impactful content and information within it. And then at the end, I like to include a resolution and sort of a call to action for people to either subscribe to my channel, or maybe if I have an ebook or digital product that I'm trying to promote, I'll have that at the end as well. Now, doing this might sound like a little bit tedious up front, but I promise you it'll actually save so much time in editing, because if you ramble, I tend to ramble when I don't use scripts. So rambling and having to cut out things that are repetitive, etc., will actually take you a lot more time in editing. So this will actually save you a lot of time. And my last tip for you when scripting is to make your script relatable, personable, all of those things that again make you sound like a human, that make you who you are and show your personality. Ultimately, people subscribe to channels because they like the person that is communicating the information. So make sure that your personality comes through within your videos and make sure that you are relatable. All right, phase 3, and this will be day 4 or 5, and that is to film it. So I know this is where a lot of beginners can freeze and get caught up in analysis paralysis, not wanting to take this next step. But remember that filming does not need to be complicated. You do not need to have fancy equipment. So there are a few things that I like to think about with every single video that I'm filming. The first is my audio. Audio is going to be so important when it comes to having high quality YouTube videos, but you know, iPhones and other high quality phones do have nice microphones, and if not, you can always buy a relatively cheap microphone on Amazon for like $20-30. So you don't have to spend a ton of money on a fancy microphone to get started, but do take the audio very seriously. You'll want to record in a quiet space. I have a specific day of the week that I like to record because my neighbors have landscapers, and during other days of the week I can hear like leaf blowers and that type of thing in the background of my videos. So I choose specific days to film my content because of background noise. I also have dogs, so I try not to film if my dogs are barking, and if you need to, and if you need to, you can always use pillows and blankets to help reduce echo. The next most important thing is going to be lighting. So I actually like to film next to a window during the day. I feel like this really just gives me strong natural lighting, but if you wanted to film in the evenings, you could use, you know, a lamp behind you or in front of you. Or I also have invested in a ring light. There are various affordable options out there in the $30 to $50 price point range. So you definitely can invest in some lighting if that's important to you and you're not able to film during the day. And then the third non-negotiable for filming is to have your camera on a stable setup. So of course I have my camera on a tripod. You could also lean it against, you know, the wall on a bookshelf or something like that. I do recommend finding a place that you can either set your camera or do invest in, again, a cheap, affordable tripod to help keep your camera steady. And then a little bonus tip I have for you is to set up your background in a nice way. You know, this is just what I have to work with here, but I do have like a plant, a candle, a lamp, and another plant over here. So I think that having kind of those accent pieces helps make my videos feel a little bit more warm and homey, that to achieve that kind of feel that I'm going for. And make sure to tidy up everything else kind of in the background so that it does feel nice and neat. And another little bonus tip for you, if you're feeling a little bit nervous to film, you could try warming up first. Make sure you're looking right at the lens. I know that it's tempting. I sometimes glance over at the screen that's showing myself. I mostly am doing that to make sure my camera's in focus from time to time. Pretend like you're just talking to a friend, and like anything in life, just try to warm up for a few minutes before you start. And by the way, you will mess up when you talk. Editing will save you, so don't be afraid to stumble on your words. You don't need to start over, just start that phase over or that sentence. All right, speaking of editing, let's move on to phase 4, and this will be during day 6. So that is, of course, editing. Now, editing is how your story can really come alive. Within the editing phase, I strongly recommend doing things like adding B-roll footage. You can do that through either filming your own B-roll footage or using stock B-roll footage through things like Canva Pro has royalty-free stock videos, and there's tons of other platforms out there, like Storyblocks is another one. So you can definitely pay for a service that has royalty-free B-roll footage that you could add into your videos, and I really do think that that gives them a lot of color. You'll also want to make sure that you add in some simple text overlays so that people can really understand the big points that you're trying to take home. A lot of times in my videos, you'll see, you know, me kind of pop over to the side and I'll put like a list of, you know, ideas or something, whatever I'm talking about on one side of the screen. And I think that that really just helps give my viewers a visual of what I'm talking about rather than only having to listen to what I'm saying. You can create them in Canva or other platforms similar to Canva. And I also definitely recommend using some soft background music. So that just kind of helps take out some of that background noise if there is any, or any quiet pauses, so that there's always kind of something going on in the background. There's other sound effects you can add too. So things like clicking, popping noises, stuff like that, just to kind of, again, help grab the viewer's attention. Of course, you're also going to want to just pass through, cut out any dead spots or pauses, things where maybe you say too much, or you say like too much. So you'll want to make sure that you are cutting those things out so that your video has a nice flow to it, a good pace to it, to again keep those viewers engaged. Again, there are tons of free tools out there to edit your videos, things like iMovie if you have a Mac, DaVinci Resolve, CapCut Web, or Clipchamp. And I personally like to use Final Cut Pro. That's just what I have familiarized myself with. It's really similar to iMovie, but it just has a few more features available to it. And as a little tip for you here, just keep your edits simple and finish the video. It does not need to be perfect. Again, it just needs to go live. So add a little bit of color with those B-roll clips and that text overlay, and then keep the pacing fast with cutting out pauses, rambles, etc. And you will have a solid first edit on your video. And finally, we have phase 5, which is to publish your video. Yay, we made it here. So this is going to be day 7. Now, when you're getting ready to upload your video, of course, you're going to want to make sure you have a strong thumbnail and title. This is really how you're going to get people to click on your video in the first place. So a few tips that I have for you here. Again, reference some of those really popular videos within your niche and see what is working well for other people. Is it simple images with bright big text? Is it a photo collage? It's going to differ a little bit from the vlog niche to a cooking niche to these talking head style videos. Regardless of what niche you're in, one common theme is like clear, easy to read text. And I really do recommend keeping the words on the thumbnails to a minimum, like 1 to 3 words max, just because the thumbnails, when they're really little, like on the subscription notification tab, they can be very, very tiny. So people are going to have a hard time reading the thumbnail text if you have a lot of words on there. For titles, I strongly recommend keeping it under 70 characters and make it a promise, not just a label. For example, instead of just saying my morning routine, you could say productive and easy morning routine for moms with a toddler. And some final checks before you hit upload. You'll want to make sure it's in a 16:9 export format. I always like to make sure to turn captions on. You'll want to add a high SEO optimized description and tags. Hint, use ChatGPT to help you come up with a high SEO description as well as tags for your video. You always want to make sure you have an end screen because this is going to keep people on your channel for longer. Hopefully, if somebody watches all the way to the end of the video, they will then click on another video within your channel and therefore continue to watch your videos, build up your watch time, etc. Make sure you have a pinned comment, something for people to react to. And lastly, go ahead and upload that baby. Well, you guys, that is it for my step-by-step guide to get your first video live in 2026. 2026 is right around the corner, and if you've been thinking about starting a YouTube channel, then this is your sign to go for it, to do it. Now, if you want an even more thorough, full-on step-by-step guide for how to take your channel from zero to getting it fully monetized, make sure you check out my Mom to Monetize ebook. I actually got this channel monetized within 6 months of starting it, so I definitely have some experience with growing and scaling a YouTube channel. I've also started a second channel that's gotten over 600 subscribers at this point, so hoping to get that second channel monetized soon as well. All of that to say, if you want a even more thorough step-by-step guide on getting your channel monetized and taking it to that next level, make sure you check out that ebook. I know it's called Mom to Monetize, but it's really for anybody that has a YouTube channel and wants to take it to that next level. If you're curious, I will link that ebook down in my description box as well as the pinned comment. But that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you found this useful and you're ready and excited to go start your YouTube channel, let me know down in the comments. If you're new here and you found this video helpful, I would love for you to stick around. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.